Hi there, welcome to Prime Sports with me, Razak Musbao. Now tonight, reigning champions of the Ghana Premier League, FC Samartex, have found themselves in a very difficult situation at the moment. They are lying ninth on the Premier League table, having secured only 19 points after 15 games. Now, the club, which gained promotion into the Premier League some 2 seasons ago, went on to win the Ghana Premier League last season. Now, following this performance, the team went on to compete in the CAF Confederations Cup, where they exited in the preliminary round. Now, following this exit, the club has been on some very difficult run in the top flight. Currently, the team is winless in 5 games, and this poor form has led to the exit of the coach who led them to win the Ghana Premier League title, Nkrumah Amadou, and they have now turned attention to an experienced coach in Christopher Ennin, the former coach of Brecum Chelsea, with the hope that he will turn things around for them. Now, joining me via phone is the club's communications director, Kofi Baidu, to understand what has gone wrong with the club or led to the exit of coach Nkrumah Amadou and what they are hoping that Christopher Ennin will bring to the club. Kofi, thank you very much and Happy New Year to you and the team at FC Samartex.
Thanks to you and your viewers as well. Thank you so much for the opportunity, and a very good evening to yourself and to all the people out there.
And thank you very much for this opportunity to have this exclusive conversation with you following the appointment of your new coach. But first of all, let's just try to get a sense of what has gone wrong at the club. I'm sure internally you have done some assessment of why the club is in the shape it is at the moment. What have you unraveled to be the problem, with the club, for which reason you've struggled to pick the point necessary for you to stay competitive, and even go on to defend the title this season?
Well, just once again, this part of it all is we've even dropped some points, which is unusual of us. As in dropping points at our backyard, as in our home grounds at the Century Sports Arena. We went on 4 games, 1 with a draw, and 3 various teams coming here to pick points from here. Vision FC came to pick 3 points from here. We also had Blue Stars in an FA Cup come here to pick a point. Then also we had couple other teams also come here to pick point as well. We drew with Nations FC, just ended last Premiership game, but we will say it was an improved performance of our previous games. It happens to many clubs, and it happens to many teams as well. There are times that you wouldn't have it all rosy. There are times you go through 1 or 2 difficulties. Before the exit of Coach Nkrumah, I remember in a conversation with him, I asked him what is really happening, what is actually the major problem, because we've tried everything that we needed to try. He's done all the necessary training that he needs to do, trying all the materials that he has. Things were not working. As a head coach, he took the blame and said, whatever that he needs to do, he's done it, and he thinks that by the time that we all sit at a round table, so he bows out for a new person to come and continue. And that does not mean that he's a bad coach, he's a coach that stood in when we were crowned champions 2023-2024 season of the league. So it was time that...
Yeah, Kofi, I just want to come to the exits of Nkrumah Amadou, considering that you've just brought it up. You mentioned that he did his assessment, he presented it to you, and he suggested that he cannot continue with the work because of the poor performance. So is that what happened, or it was your decision to part ways with him?
It wasn't our decision. In fact, we all agree on a mutual termination because he felt that all the necessary things he's done, or all the necessary things that he needed to do, he's done them, but things are still not working. And we also felt that as champions, where we want to get to, especially not dropping points. If you want to play in the first round and you begin to drop points at home, and when you tend to play the second round, not the class that they came to your place and picked those points. Going there to pick the points will be very difficult. And because we are champions, we've set a standard that we want to have a back-to-back of the league. So on a round table, we agreed that, well, it is time for both of us to understand ourselves and part ways. So our agreement on parting ways was from both parties, not that we sacked him or not that he also resigned. He felt where he's done the work up to, somebody has to come and continue. That is the same way we also felt.
Yeah, Kofi, what about the argument we also heard from certain quarters that if you look at the players that he used to win the league for you last season and the players that he is working with this season, the difference is huge. You sold quite a number of your key players. Mano K, left the club. A few other players left the club, and you failed to make proper replacements in certain key areas, and that contributed to the difficulty he's had. And some say it is part of the reason why he decided to exit, because he felt that he did not get enough replacement, in the team to stay competitive.
Every replacement that we did was as a result of a recommendation from the coach, and was as a result of the scouting that he did from the various clubs and recommendations that when he presented his report, those were the players that were in when he presented his report to management right down to the board. So those were all recommendations from him. And I mean, talk about players that have left. There is only one player that was sold out. That is Seydou Dauda, who is in Tanzania now. I'm sorry, who is in Rwanda now. As we speak, Emmanuel Kayeke issue was still not gotten headway about it. We didn't sell him. We didn't have any negotiations with the club that he's playing for. As I said, we are still battling with Emmanuel Kayeke's issue. Aside that, we only have Ivan Osei-Wusu, who is now recovering from injury. All other players are on board. All other players that some played for us in winning the league are still there. So we will talk about selling of a player. There's only one player that has left the team. I mean, Emmanuel Kayeke, as I said, we still have issues that we are still dealing with, that we are not done with it. So
but Kofi, don't you think that is part of the reason why he's had the challenges? Because you're suggesting that Mano K is still a player of Samartex, yet he's not playing for Samartex. He's in Rwanda playing for a team there. And you are indicating that you haven't even finalized his transfer to that club, yet he's there playing. And I'm sure if the coach,
that's true. I mean,
if the coach wanted to...
But I don't want us to talk about this issue now. That is why in a club you sign almost about 30 to 33 players or 28 to 30 players. So, and last season throughout our games, Emmanuel Kayeke didn't play all the games. That's it, Vera didn't play all the games. We equally had players that were playing their positions as well. But with all said and done, I mean, it happens to clubs and it happens to teams, as I indicated earlier on. I mean, we are in our hard times but fortunately we've put the pieces together with the coming of our new coach. Are we going to come to... Yeah, and Kofi, we're going to come to the new coach, but at least what we're picking from here is that you do not agree with the assertion that it's because of the quality of players. That's why the team is not performing at the level that it did last season. It's not necessarily because of nobody can stand anywhere and say that and talk about quality of players. How many players left? How many players did we include? And even some that we even included are players that have played in this Premiership for beyond one or two seasons. I mean, talk about Adabo, Harry Adabo. Talk about Kusheibu, all from Karela. Talk about Kofi Agbeshime from Hasselhoff. Talk about Bukuyali. I mean, these are players that have tasted the league before. So these are not new entrants from the division side. I mean, those that we even, the coach recommended or the coach made them join from the division side are playing very well. So it doesn't necessarily mean that those that left, I mean, Koton and Kuti, Mano K and Sedi Dada, their absence is affecting the team so much that we cannot perform or meet our standard that we want to meet. As I indicated earlier on, these are things that it happens to most of the class. I mean, it happened to us before. It happened to Kotoko before. It happened to, to mention a few.
But Kofi,
they go back to winning ways and put their pieces together. That is the same thing that we've also done. And as I said,
yeah, Kofi. So we're going to come to the new coach, but just finally on before we go to the way forward, help me understand really though. I know that the club president, Dr. Richard Nsinchiri, follows the club very closely. The general manager, Mano K, Paul, and the entire team there. Until the appointment of Coach Enin, tell me how management, how surprised management really was about the performance of the team, especially in the first 10, 12 games. At what point did you feel that, something fundamentally is going wrong? And what was the reaction from the management of the club?
Well, especially when we started dropping points at home. We know our standard and we know the performance of our team. And these names that you made mention, or you did mention, are people that are very close to the team, travel with the team. Aside the president, Mr. Mano K always travels with the team. Mr. Paul Ayamba is always with the team. All other management members are always with the team. So we got to realize that, we need to put things together. We need to put ideas and minds together.
Were you shocked? Were you shocked with the performance the team was putting up?
Oh, sure. I mean, you could not see performances like this, especially when you are losing at your backyard, and you wouldn't be shocked, you wouldn't be surprised. I mean, for a new side, yes, when we came as debutantes, we were scoring others that have been in the league for years. So we weren't happy. And we were also not so much worried because, it's football. As people are coming here to pick points, we can also equally go to other places and pick points. It happened last season. We picked points from, we played Accra Lions, we picked points from there. Other places we picked points from Doma in Adriana's backyard as well. So, yes, we were worried, but it was not so much of an issue that because of it
you wanted to sack the coach and all of that. Anyway, good. But let's come to the new coach now, Coach Enin. Of course, we know he's coached Brecum Chelsea before. He has a wealth of experience in the Ghana Premier League. He knows the ins and outs of it. But are you confident that he has the capacity to fill in in the shoes that Nuruddin Amadou left? Are you confident that you've made the right choice?
Borrow your own words. Forgive me. He comes with the experience that we all know. Coach Enin is somebody that Ghanaians and football-loving people shouldn't or much shouldn't be said about him when you mention his name. We know how practical he is. We know the things that he can bring on board. And he comes at a time that we are facing challenges, but we know that he's going to put our pieces together and turn things around. There's an experienced hand that when you have a huge project, you've been here before, you can testify to the huge project that we have here. If you have somebody like that to put such project into his hands, you can be rest assured that even if not, 100% result that you'll be getting close to 80-90% results.
But in terms of the standings on the table, what specifically is the objective, the target you're giving him? You looking to, what is the target realistically for him now that he's coming?
Well, our target is to do a back-to-back. To win the league. It doesn't matter. Do you know one surprising thing? Last season, if colleagues of yourself will really check for us. Last season when we had played games up to week 15, our point accumulated wasn't up to where we are now. But just that now, because we are champions, people expect you to be up there. We understand them. But as I said, Coach has been given a task that want to do a back-to-back.
Isn't that a little unrealistic? You are lying ninth on the Premier League table. I mean, the lead, the team leading the table, Hearts of Lions, they are, I think, about 34, 35 points. You've got like 18 points. You are way, way behind them, and you still want the coach to win the league title for you. Are you not being unrealistic?
We are not way behind them. We are behind them, and these are 3 points that we are all fighting for in each particular game. And I mean, whilst you are dropping points, others are winning. Others can also drop points for you also to win. And I mean, look at the matches that we how many matches have we played? How many matches are left to go? When you put all these things together, whoever said that last season we would come from where we were, I mean, to lead to top the table within the second half of the season. Yes, so I mean, anything can happen. These are 3 points that we are all fighting for. You go, you can drop points. You go, you can pick all the points. At your home, you can pick all the points, but you can drop points. So
well, it's a very
when you look at the gaps,
it's a very ambitious target you're giving him. You're about 12 or 13 points behind the league leaders, and you still want him to win the title for you. You want him to retain the title for you.
I mean, let's talk about all of us playing the league. And when you ask those at the bottom, that's what is their target, they will tell you that they want to be up there.
Yeah, some want to avoid the relegation because of the situation they find themselves in.
But I mean, each of us in the league that we are playing, any team or any club playing, target is to win the league. Yeah, it is the end that will justify the means. I mean, when we are all building up the points and when we are all moving, that is where we go. But I mean, as I said earlier on, how many matches have we played?
We've played 15 games. We've got about a few more to go to end the season. Sure. But I mean, you talk about clubs like Kumasi Asante Kotoko, Heart of Folk, Heart of Lions, Midiama Nations FC, who are all in the mix, looking to win the title. I mean, the transfer window, the second transfer window has been open. Some of them have started making moves, trying to augment their team to ensure that they can realize their objective for the season. You have tasked your new coach to retain the title. From a management perspective, what are you committing to do to help him achieve the target?
We did not sack our coach. Neither did the coach take a frank lead. No, we all sat on the round table.
No, I mean, I'm talking about the new coach. You've given him a target to win the title, and I'm saying that from a management, level, what commitment have you made, especially now the transfer window is open, to help him with more players?
We always do our things on the low notes when it has to do with player movement. Yes, the transfer is open, and if we are going in for other players, it will come out. If we are not going in for other players, it will also come out. My new coach is here to settle. We just finished playing Nations FC. Just this ended Sunday, and we are looking forward to a BNF game come Sunday. We do our things on a low level. As I said, we will go for a new player. If you go into the market, that will be determined later whether we are.
But have you assured him that you are willing to support him as far as player recruitment is concerned? Because I'm sure he will need it.
As I said, our things are done in terms of player recruitment. Our things are done on the low level.
But in terms of the coach, have you assured the coach that you will help him if the need arises?
As he assured us of getting results, why not? We also have to give him the support to get the result that he wants to get for us.
Yeah. All right. Finally, though, we know that the Football Association has had some issues financially, making some payments to you and all of that, and the clubs have been in some difficult financial situation, having to honor games. One of your sister clubs failed to honor a game because of a similar situation. Financially, though, is Samartex in a good position? Has the GFA been supporting you enough to end the season well?
We are financially sound. I mean, I cannot speak for others that because of GFAs or because of they having issues with GFA, they are not able to honor matches. I mean, we think that the league that we are playing and the day that is set for us to go to wherever that we need to go to, These are the set for whoever that needs to come here. We prepare ourselves and wait for whoever that has to come here.
But in terms of commitment that the GFA has towards you, the monies that have to come to you for participating in the Premier League, have you gotten any of it yet? Because we know there were some arrears.
Well, unless our business and development manager tells us anything about that. But aside that, I don't have any information to that regard. Interesting there. Well, we need to draw the curtains here. But your next game is against Gianna. You're traveling to Bono, Doma. And how ready are you for that game? You had a draw in your last game. You're winless in the last 5 games. How confident are you that you can go there and get a win? They also have a new coach. Very confident. We know how difficult going to Doma is. And we also have a history in Doma. So we are going with all the confidence of maintaining that pace that we've set there, or that record that we've set there, to ensure that we come back with no points, with a point.
Well, Kofi, thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate you. Wish you the best on your journey to Doma, FC Samartex. That's the communications director for FC Samartex. FC Samartex are the reigning champions of the Ghana Premier League. They're currently having some really difficult round of form in the top flight, and they've appointed a new coach in Coach Christopher Ennin with the hope that he can, turn their fortunes around. Currently lying 9th on the Premier League table. They've got 18 points and remain optimistic of winning the title despite being over 10 points away from the league leaders, Heart of Lions. Well, pretty much all we have for you on Prime Sports tonight with me, Razak Musbah. We're going to be back tomorrow with more on what's been happening in the world of sports. Thank you very much for your company. We have more stories for you on myjoyonline.com. Up next is PM Express Business Edition. It's a special conversation with the governor of the Bank of Ghana.